is Isabel Shaver, ISABELLESHAVER.
Please raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please proceed.
Sir. Isabel, you just spelled your name, but would you put your name on the record of an open court?
Sorry?
Say your name again.
Isabel Shaver.
Okay. How old are you, Isabel?
I'm 15. I turned 16 this Sunday.
Okay, very good. It's your desire to testify in this matter, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of the arrest of your mother, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Isabel, there's allegations raised and floating around that, so to speak, that you've been brought in here, kind of thrown under the bus. Has anybody pressured you to testify in this cause?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay. Now, there was, Miss Johnson was appointed as an attorney ad litem to represent you.
Correct.
Did you meet with Miss Johnson?
Yes,
Did you discuss your case with Miss Johnson?
I did.
Did Miss Johnson go over all the rights that you would waive by testifying in this case?
Yes, sir.
Is it still your desire to testify?
Yes.
Do you understand your obligation to testify truthfully?
I do.
Are you going to testify truthfully?
I'm going to testify truthfully.
Would you explain your relationship to Laurie Shaver?
Laurie Shaver is my mother. Me and her are very close. We've always been very close. We do everything together. I don't know, she's like my best friend and a mom in one.
All right, defense, do you wish to view the birth certificate? Do you wish to view the document, the birth certificate?
Judge, we had had a hearing on this matter as to the birth certificate of Isabel Shaver. The court had approved mandatory judicial notice. Madam Clerk is identifying the document. And once identified, we'd ask that the matter be accepted to the court, again pursuant to your order.
Is that Exhibit B? E as in Delta? Okay. All right, the birth certificate has been marked as Exhibit D. Is there any objection from the state?
Your Honor, it's improper to admit that as judicial notice, but it is an official record, and because of the fact that it's an official record, it is admissible, so the state has no objection.
All right.
Judicial notice in the state has been.
Without objection, Exhibit D will be entered into evidence as defense number 1.
Isabel, you met me some time ago, correct?
Correct.
Met me at or about the time of your mother's arrest.
Right, yes.
I had, did I not, a brief discussion with you?
We did, yes.
And upon that brief discussion, we had requested that Ms. Johnson be appointed, correct?
Correct.
Now, if I ask you any questions you do not understand, would you please ask me to rephrase the question, repeat the question, or try to ask the question in a different way?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall your father?
Yes.
His name?
Michael Shaver.
What was your relationship like with Michael Shaver?
We didn't really have much of a relationship. He wasn't very present. He worked at night, and so he slept all day during the day, and anytime he was home, we weren't really allowed outside of our rooms. We didn't have a relationship, really. He really wasn't a father to me.
Was the atmosphere calm? How would you describe the household?
It was very combative. It was very tense. There was a lot of tension constantly. It's not calm. It was the complete opposite of calm. Nobody, whenever he was home, it was just, it was scary. It was like, we were just stuck in our rooms all day, and then, like, whenever we weren't, it was just, he was very aggressive, and we didn't have that type of relationship. No, it wasn't a calm household.
You see any without talking about the facts of any events, did you see any altercations between Michael and your mother?
I did, yes.
Were they frequent?
Yeah. They were pretty frequent.
Were they physical?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask Madam Clerk to mark these exhibits. The court has previously accepted them and entered an order to take judicial notice of those.
Your Honor, can I see these?
Documents. I'll show you.
All right, if the state could please view the documents. Thank you.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Yes, sir. Come on up.
speaking about household events, you had spoken that it was an atmosphere that was tense, I believe.
Yes.
I'm showing you a composite exhibit. It has 6 photographs in it. Had you seen your mom in that same or similar condition on multiple occasions?
Yes.
Are those true and accurate depictions how you frequently observed your mom, without speaking about the events themselves? Did those images and mental impressions in your mind cause you to feel the need to take your mother's side at any time?
Yes, I mean, look at her.
Did it cause you, Isabel, to step up and in the past, on more than one occasion, and side with your mother?
Yes, it did.
In the pictures that you looked at, who committed those injuries to your mother?
My father.
Judge, we'd ask that this exhibit, this composite exhibit, without testimony as to the events, be admitted into evidence and published to the jury.
How's the exhibit identified? What letter marking?
It is being identified.
B as in Bravo? Okay. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Without objection, Exhibit B will be entered into evidence as defense number 2. Yes, sir.
Isabel, I'm showing you what's marked as Defense Exhibit C for identification purposes. Would you tell the jurors what you're looking at?
I see my father with a torn shirt and blood.
Speak up, please.
Oh, sorry. I see my father, and he has a torn shirt and blood.
Whose blood's that?
I mean, I'm assuming his,
Sis?
maybe.
Now, the photos you looked at and testified to briefly, is this the individual that would do that? And see? We move Defense Exhibit C into evidence at this time, Judge.
And no objection? Without objection, Defense Exhibit C will be admitted into evidence as defense number 3.
Isabel, how frequently would those events occur? Without speaking the details of the events.
It would happen pretty often. They'd at least argue and like fight really bad, pretty much on the daily. But it would escalate to those points a few times a month. Like it wasn't a rare occurrence. Like it happened often.
And as a matter of those events, and I may have asked this question before, did you feel a need to attempt to protect your mom in any fashion?
I did, yes.
Did you perceive your mother as a victim through those events?
Yes.
That response that transpired in you, did it become a natural and automatic response? You talked about the feeling inside of yourself of the need to protect your mother. Did that become automatic inside?
Yes, it did. Growing up, I mean, yeah, I've always stepped in for my mother. I would, do whatever I could do. I mean, I remember I had this stuffed animal, and her name was Lammy, and she was my favorite stuffed animal. And he used to, she would go to sleep on the couch, and because he would drug her water, and I would tuck her in, and I would, give her my stuffed animal to protect her. And obviously it's a stuffed animal, it's not going to protect her, but it was just, the act and the principle of it.
Was there a period of time when your father was removed from the residence?
Yes, there was.
Father removed from the residence on occasion
Yes.
as a consequence of these events?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And during the period or the absence of your father, did your mother start dating anybody?
After he had been removed for a while, she did start dating, Jereme.
Okay. What was Jeremy's last name?
Townsend? I don't think I know his last name. It's something like that.
Okay. How often would Jereme come to the residence?
He was over all the time. I mean, he came over for holidays. He was there for my brother's birthday. His son went to the same school as me and my brother, so he would meet up at our house every day before we go to school, and he was at the school for all the plays, the events, all that type of stuff. He was over all the time.
Would he come in the morning?
Yeah, morning, night.
Would he ever spend the night there?
Yes.
Would y'all go to places with Mr. Townsend or Jereme?
Yes, we would.
Was he there for Christmas?
Not Christmas Day, but Christmas Eve.
Was he there for any other holidays or special events?
He was there for my brother's birthday. I don't really remember any other holidays, but I know he was there for my brother's birthday and Christmas.
Do you remember going shopping or out on the town with Mr. Townsend?
Yeah, we used to go to this Chick-fil-A a lot. That was one of the ones with like the playgrounds, and we'd go with his son and then me and my brother. We did that a lot.
Do you know if Mr. Townsend or Jereme was married?
I don't think so.
Isabel, I'm sorry I have to do this. But let's talk about Michael, your father. Do you know anything about the death of your father?
I do.
Do you know anything about how your father died?
I do.
Could you tell the jury?
So, it was a school day, and I'm sorry. And he.
First, let's relax, go slow, make sure the jury understands the events, okay?
Okay. It was a school morning. Me and my brother were getting ready for school. He hadn't been at the house for a while. He was kicked out, removed, and me and my brother were in separate rooms. We had pretty much been ready for school. I was eating my breakfast and I was watching TV. We had these like little plastic tables in our rooms, and I was watching TV and I heard arguing. Initially, I thought it was the TV, and then I was like, no, that's not the TV. So my room, it was my room, and then it had a bathroom and then a spare room. And so they all connected to each other, like through the bathroom. It was almost like a little like pathway. And so I heard, the fighting and the yelling, and it escalated. So when I was little, I would go through there to like sneak around, and I opened the spare room door, and in front of the spare room door was the dining room, and in front of the dining room there was a glass door, like a sliding glass door. So I opened the door to the spare room, and I stood there, and I saw my father, and he wasn't supposed to be there, and my mom and my father were fighting, and my mom went to leave the argument, leave the porch. They were out on the porch, and he pulled her by the arm, and he pulled her into her lap onto one of the porch chairs, and he held her there, and then she was like, we can work things out, we'll figure this out, it'll be different. And he was like, no, there's no next time, there's no figuring it out. And he pushed her onto the ground. And he started kicking her in the stomach and in the back. And then he took his other foot and he put it on the side of her face. And she was screaming, and he was like saying there's not going to be another time, and that he was going to kill her at this time. And I heard my mom screaming for help, obviously, and then he put his foot on the side of her face and pushed it into the ground, and I didn't hear her anymore. And sorry. And so I went to my mom's room, and I went at her end table, and I grabbed her gun, and I went back out, and I went to the door. The door was already open, and he had my mom on the ground still holding her to the ground, still kicking her, and I shot him, and nothing happened. He didn't fall. Nothing happened. And then Jereme.
Let me stop you a little bit, Isabel. Okay, you say nothing happened. Was he standing or sitting?
He was sitting in the chair.
He was sitting in the chair.
He was sitting in the chair.
His foot on your mom's head?
Right.
You shot him. Do you know exactly where you shot him? Or,
I'm not exactly sure. No.
okay. Did you shoot him from the rear region? Or where do you think you shot him?
I was aiming towards his head, but I'm not sure where the bullet went.
Okay. And what happened after you fired the gun?
He was just sitting there. I mean, he wasn't moving. Nothing happened. There was no blood. There was no nothing. And then,
Let me stop you there. Okay. Let me interject here and there, if I may.
okay.
Did you feel when you fired that shot that that had to be done or he would have killed your mother?
Yes.
Firm on that?
I'm firm on that.
Was he using that type of force in your mind?
Yes.
That it was necessary?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. What happened after you shot him? Or you believe you shot him?
Afterwards, Jereme came, and
How long?
it was right after it happened. Like, I hadn't even had a chance to walk away, move, nothing yet. And, he came in, and he took the gun from me, and then he shot him again. And that's when he fell to the ground. And, my mom had crawled away. He fell to the ground. Jereme shot him. He told my mom to take us out of the house, take us to school, and that we needed to leave. We're not to tell anybody. We can't tell nobody. We can't call the cops. We can't say anything, or else he was going to do the same thing to me and my brother. And he was going to, hurt us too. So we went to school.
Okay. So you leave the residence, you go to school. When you get to school, what happens?
We get to school. Nothing really happened at school. I would say I was most definitely in shock, but at the same time, it was like, because those types of events happen often, I was very used to, like the violence and seeing things like that, and so I was still able to, like, perform normally at school, and just kind of, not go about my day, be at school.
What time did you get out of school?
I was in elementary school, so I think around, 3.